Ladies, gentlemen, let the show begin. Alright, do you like video games? And I know you do. What about entertainment? We got that to video game. I'm on a video game. Video game. Oh, what's the name? Video Game Armada. This is the one true I'm the Gamer Boss Braun.
And the informational emperor to Backlash.
And the first lady of media, Blue.
Coming to you with a movie review. Yay! This is The Boss, starring Melissa McCarthy. Did I say that right this time?
Yes.
Okay, good.
No relation, by the way, to Boss Braun.
Good. Huh?
No, the boss is no relation
Oh, okay.
to Boss Braun.
I get it. It was funny. I get it.
Hi, kid.
Also, this movie does not star Snoop Dogg's cousin, Mercedes Canester Vernado, also known as Sasha Banks, going to WrestleMania.
Less funny, but okay. So anyway, this movie, I decided, you know what? At Video Game Armada, we do watch a lot of movies, but they're more, how can I say, boy-centric. I'll admit. I am a boy, and I enjoy every minute of it. So we gotta branch out. We gotta see some more, somewhat more, girl-centric stuff. Per se. Yes, and this seems like the perfect movie to bridge the gap between the genders and see how it works out. I don't know. I saw the trailer, said, okay, this seems pleasing to my palate, but did it end up that way? I'm going to turn to Backlash and see what he says about the story.
Well, here's the story. Basically, you have Melissa McCarthy's character, Marshall Darnell. That nice alliterative name there. Rhyming name, actually. Sorry. Basically, she was an orphan, bounced from foster home to foster home. By age 15, she really became very jaded with the process, opting against Michelle Darnell.
Okay.
She became jaded with the process and decided she'd better go it alone and make it all her way to the top. And so she did. She became fabulously wealthy, high among top 50 richest Americans in the world, owning 3 companies, and giving her advice to millions of people everywhere, specifically women. This all came crumbling down when a person she screwed over 20 years ago comes back and makes sure she gets arrested for insider trading.
Played by Peter Dinklage.
Yep. And once she goes in jail, everything is taken away from her. Her money is gone. Her house is foreclosed on. Most of her things are seized. The only place she has left to go is to the home of her former personal assistant, played by Kristen Bell. And I'm looking for her name because it's important, Claire. And her daughter, played by a young Ella Anderson, played by Rachel. And it's up to Michelle to get back on her feet. And Claire is trying to help her do that, while at the same time, Michelle's trying to spice up her dating life and her home situation, Claire's home situation as well. And that's pretty much it. Not too complicated. I'm usually talking for a little bit longer than this, but that's what it boils down to without spoilers.
Right. And the person who played Claire, actually, what was her name there?
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell. She's actually from Veronica Mars fame. So if you guys are Veronica Mars fans, you will get a lot of her in this movie.
Yeah. And I know I'm not, but hey, that didn't stop me from watching this movie. So, you know what? If you want to give Boss a try, not me, of course, you always got to try me and love me. I mean, the movie, then don't let me stop. Don't let that fact stop you. Story-wise, it's pretty cut and dry. It's like 90s, early 2000s fare. You know, main character on the top, you know, has fans adoring money, wealth, power. Something happens, brought low, and then she stays with a family that may or may not like her at the time, but accept her as who she is, for the main character to turn around and see what really is important in life and how that knowledge will change her forever. It is a story old as time, but told a little differently for today's audience.
Oh yeah, it definitely is a lot different. And even though there is a lot of kids in this movie, I don't recommend that this is necessarily a movie for kids. It's truly adult in nature. I think kids can go, but you're going to have to really realize that there's a lot of language and a lot of things you'll have to explain later if the kids are too young. So I kind of think it's really more adult humor.
Yeah, if anyone who is of a parent persuasion, don't take your kids for this.
Don't take your
It's
kids.
not for them.
It's not for them.
At the very least, if you're going to take kids, make sure they're late teens, or had to talk, or certain types of educational important educational training. But
Don't take kids.
ultimately, the little ones can stay away from this for sure.
So what do
Along
you
with Sergeant Scruffy.
or spaghetti?
So who miss you, spaghetti?
But anywho, what do you guys think of the movie in general?
Well, I gotta say, I had a lot of high hopes for the movie. I saw the trailers, hilarious. If you listen to the VG Armada upcoming movies, where we were looking at movies that are coming, that we gave our initial thoughts, and we all loved it. And I tell you, it was hysterical, the movie trailer. But I was a little disappointed with the movie. I
Mm.
love Melissa McCarthy. She's very funny, but I thought there were some really drawbacks on some of the humor, some of the actual things that they used, some of the raunch that they felt they needed to have. They kind of took away from there was no strong joke. There was nothing there that was really, truly funny. There were some things that were really hilarious in the movie that I did enjoy, but there were a lot of places that were kind of dry and didn't really have a real relevance. I love the choice of music in this particular movie. I thought the music was very strong in a lot of the parts, and I think I would have got a lot more from the whole movie if the character would have demonstrated her wealthy side for a little longer. It seemed like as soon as she was introduced, you saw that she was apparently a wealthy person, and then it was quickly taken away. And I think the movie missed having that a little more in the overall storyline. I thought it was a lot of funny parts, but overall, I just wasn't. It was just not the kind of movie I thought. I was disappointed. I thought it was still good, it was still funny, but not as good as I thought it had the potential to be.
Well, I kind of thought a little differently than you, Blue. I hope you don't mind.
I don't.
To be honest, when I saw the trailer, it had its funny moments. Hashtag clothesline of Girl Scouts. But I thought it was going to be this. If you see the Ghostbusters reboot sequel, also starring Melissa McCarthy and three women from SNL, uh, you notice there's a lot of cringe humor in there. I can take cringe humor just a bit, just in very small doses, but when it gets too cray cray, I start to lose my mind. I thought this movie was going to be wall to wall cringe humor, but it wasn't. It actually was a little bit heartfelt, and I like that.
It was a little bit heartfelt. I do,
It,
I do agree with you.
and it took its time. It took its time to explain what's going on. And again, it usually takes you a while to get a rundown down, but not this time because the movie, well, it isn't simple. It it doesn't try to talk about the audience. Not that certain movies do it on purpose, but it happens when they're trying to get all their stuff in. This movie got its stuff in, but it's simple to understand. And you know what? And that kept me going. And you again, you seen the trailer, so you know there's at least one action sequence in there. But there's a there's a couple action sequences in this movie that kind of caught me off guard. But yeah, I for the bulk of the movie, it was just relationship between Michelle, Claire, and Claire's daughter. And there's a couple of characters that are influenced by one of those three characters. And I won't spoil anything, but it it centers around that three group of women and girls, and whose lives they have affected, or affected by the lives of other people. Plus a couple of handful of cameos, and they're all used well. So I like the story. To put it in smaller terms.
I am sort of in the middle between both of you. I mean, when I saw the trailer, it had some potential, but honestly, I was flying blind. I mean, this is not based off a comic book. Didn't look like an action thing. Didn't look like it was going to be all comedy. It was and Melissa McCarthy, which from what people tell me, she is very funny. But I've never watched anything of hers, and I had really no inclination to do so till now. When I first started watching the movie, I was like not laughing, and it was like pretty bland toast. And oh, I hope this movie is not this whole boringness. No, but as the movie did roll on and got into the mid part, things were starting to get a bit more interesting and heartfelt, like Backlash said. And said, okay, this is good. This is sort of like a family dramedy. I'm okay with that. You know, Melissa McCarthy's character is sort of like the wild and crazy aunt doing all the antisocial stuff because she's different. That's fine, you know. Had a bit of a story, even a rival character, again by Peter Dinklage, because at the end, he just turned out. And I
Yeah.
am just glad he did. He gave
Oh
that one
God.
movie the shot of the arm.
Gave it a boss fight.
Yeah, I gave it a bit of a spoiler there, but yes, it was a
Sorry
boss
about
fight,
that.
and I am glad that was there because it really sort of like got this thing well routed, and I'm glad. There was a lot, not a lot of cringe humor, but there was a lot of, let's just say, adult
Yeah.
innuendos here and there.
Oh yeah.
Which, if I could be just like Mr. Squeaky Clean for a second, if they really removed all that stuff from the movie, it would have taken zero for the movie.
Right.
I think they just did that for, again, today's modern audiences. Because that's what they got here. They got HBO, you know.
Honestly, if I don't mean to interrupt, but honestly, Claire could have easily been a cosplayer of Captain America for the amount of time she said language.
Uh-huh. And that was just fun, you know, because someone needs to tell that wild and crazy Melissa McCarthy not to use potty mouth 2 out of the 3 sentences she says. But you know, again, that's just me. Otherwise, good enough storyline, good enough structure overall. Now, let's talk about the goods of the movie. Who wants to go? Who wants to start, or shall I?
Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, Peter Dinklage, thank you for being in this movie. I'm sorry I never watched Game of Thrones. I probably won't.
Coming April 24th.
I probably.
Winter is coming.
Winter is already gone. I'm sorry to say.
Winter is coming.
Spring is here.
Game
I don't
of
want to be here.
Thrones, April 24th.
But at the end of the day, he really made the movie for me. He's a very good actor.
Oh,
He can play
absolutely.
serious. He can play funny.
He
He
is
can play.
excellent.
He's good. He's very, very good.
He is excellent.
But and of course, you know, he's had some little like question mark scenes, like what's he's trying to portray. But after you see why his character's that way, I said, okay, I get it. Then he just said, screw it, I'm being a villain. Yeah. And I said, thank you very much. What else did I like the movie? I did like how the character of Melissa McCarthy tried to change in a way, like try to show the things that are important, like about family, because that's what it comes down to for this story. Um, but they sort of missed the mark, but I'll talk about that more about the bads. I did enjoy some of the humor. Forgive me, some of the more raunchier ones were a little bit funny, and I enjoyed that. Other than that, nothing really stand out. Who's next?
I'll go next. I actually liked a lot of the movie. I liked Melissa McCarthy's role. I did. And I liked the acting. I thought that the actors that came in, you mentioned Peter and you mentioned the Veronica Mars actress. And needless to say, Melissa McCarthy, they did stellar roles. I thought that there were a lot of funny bits and pieces about it. There were some great scenes with the Girl Scout piece and There was some basically funny things that happened within the movie. But I thought just with that mix of things, there was just room for some more things, and I'll save that for the bad. But I enjoyed seeing Melissa McCarthy in this role because she kind of reminded me of like a Martha Stewart kind of thing. Martha was the top of her game, and then she got a little run in with the law for insider trading, went to jail, came out in a couple months, and we don't know what she really did between that and getting back on top. But, it just had a lot of similarities, and I thought that was pretty cool. So, those are the things I truly did like. And like I mentioned, I love the music. They had some really great music in the movie. How about you, Beckless?
Well, I think that what was good at the movie, I think it was a little, it was a, the acting was very good in the movie. To be honest, even the little kid, was very very convincing in her role.
Yeah. All the little kids were great.
Oh yeah,
They were all great.
all the scouts and Michelle's sisters, whatever called, they played their roles very well. I thought the fight choreography, whatever that was very, very good. I thought the settings were good. I loved the cameo appearances. I loved all the cameo appearances. I loved be they characters in the movie or themselves, like Gail King. It's a slight spoiler.
Oh right, I forgot that's really been in it.
Oh yeah,
Gail King.
Who?
Oprah's bestie. She's on CBS this morning now.
Oprah's bestie. That was the chick that was the news anchor.
Yeah, the one she said you can't spell Gail with a Y.
The one that interviewed her
At the
and
beginning.
I thought that was someone else.
no, it was Gail.
Gail
I thought
King.
that was the one from Good Morning America.
She is
No.
Good Morning of something.
That's CBS this morning. Good.
Yes, yes.
Robin Roberts is. You're probably thinking about Robin Roberts.
Yes.
Oh, they all look alike. Okay.
Let's see what else.
Would it kill him to eat a few hamburgers? I'm just saying. Way too skinny.
Well, Gail doesn't need a hamburger, but
Let me see.
neither does Melissa McCarthy. She's good.
I thought the
So it evens out. Jack Sprat could eat no fat. Wife could eat no lean.
I thought the slapstick in the movie was pretty good. But few instances there were, it's like just they came out of nowhere and it's like whack. And I know I saw that in the trailer, but I didn't see it coming. That's how quick and immediate it was. And I really, really like the relationship between Michelle and Claire's daughter. That was a pretty good relationship. I think that was one of the stronger points in the movie.
I agree. I thought that was good.
The family aspect was pretty good, but I touched on that. Anything else?
Finally, I like how Michelle Burnell was. Like I said, I thought it was going to be cringe humor city, and that wasn't. I thought Michelle was either going to be the cringe humor queen or just this arrogant rich person who needs to be reminded what kindness looks like. And honestly, she's a bit eccentric. She doesn't understand family as much as most people do, but at the same time, she wasn't a heartless woman. She understood what all that was.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Let's move on to the bads. Who wants to start?
I'll do it since you guys are starting all this stuff. I gotta say, what little cringe comedy or sex jokes there were, I think it was a bit too much. And they kept on doing it. There was no reason for it. It's like there's just this one scene where all they were doing was just trying to pick clothing for Claire's date. It just descended into nonsense.
Way out of
Descended into nonsense.
Like I was like, so I expected it to be Three Stooges shortly.
I know.
It was like, why are we doing this? Stop.
And then there was like characters that appeared in the movie that you think would do more, but they just play their part and then poof, they disappear.
Yeah.
It's just like
What's his name? Tyrell?
Yeah.
Tylo?
Tyrell was one, and then
Tito.
Tito, thank you.
Yeah,
Tito.
Tito. Where was
the
Tito?
husband. I mean, not the husband, the
Either
real
what?
life husband, but the lawyer. The guy who
Well, I thought he was pretty much out of the scene because he got hit in the back with a, like, what? Would you come back for that?
Well, she abused people, and they always seem to come back. I thought maybe he would make another appearance. They were funny together.
Only the secretary ever came back. No one else seemed to.
Yeah,
and
sure
but
did.
but what's his name? Tito. Tito, he was super suck up extreme.
Oh my
And
god!
I'm
then he
surprised he didn't come back.
He went back to his job
and then
I know.
and then Kathy Bates,
Let's kind of hope the black best friend would come back. It would have been funnier.
All right, Kathy
That's
Bates.
too bad.
Kathy Bates has a sizable cameo in this movie, and yet she doesn't appear at the end. That was kind of strange too.
Yeah, she kind of just rode off into the sunset.
Quite literally. Whoa, Buttercup! Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It helps that core dynamic of the three, but you don't even see what happens to the last people that opposed Michelle and the group.
Yeah.
It's like it was focusing on that core three, as well as Tyler Levine's character, who's this office worker who works with Claire. It was just those four by the end. It's just like I was like, okay, that's fine, but they referenced one of the characters, but it was just for a one-off gag. Um, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a nitpick in this Stinger continuity. There's no Stinger for this movie. No after credit scene. Not true. I mean, there is an after credit scene, but it's outtakes. I love those.
I like outtakes.
I missed out. That should be part of my goods. I forgot about that.
And
That's
is
fine.
good.
We'll just slide outtakes in the good 5 to 7 minutes back in the past.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's see what else. I really find it hard to believe that if Michelle Darnell seemed like a pragmatist to me. If she's gonna do insider trading, she has to have at least one offshore account. I can't believe she's completely broke.
Amen.
There is no
Amen.
way. She
I
has to have
agree.
something somewhere. She has to have a nest egg somewhere. She has to have a friend.
That's where
At least-
logic comes in. That's where logic comes in. And those were some of the things that I agree with what you're saying there. Seriously.
Well,
I agree too.
you guys can go ahead. If you want to start with.
I'll start with that because that was one of the things that I found that I think they really needed to expand in the beginning of the movie to show where all of her wealth really was. I mean, she comes out like I'm the 47th richest woman in the United States. Okay, like show more of that. So we can really get an understanding of how really bad this Michelle Darnell chick really is. She's got her hands in this and this and this and this and this. Show it all, right? And then let the suck up stay around a little bit more. Let her attorney, Ernest Keith, stay around a little more so that we can see him be the suck up attorney and he's getting rich on her.
What's with you guys and the attorney? I wanted to see
and Tito too.
Tito.
But I was coming to that. I agree. I think he should have been around a lot more in the movie too. And then after 1/3 of the movie has established her wealth and what all she did, because of her personality being that crass character, I think we would have really got a kick in seeing her in all these different facets. Because she would have been so funny. Because she'd have been getting away with murder, being ruthless and crass and funny, and in only the way that Melissa McCarthy could be. So I think that was just a missed opportunity. They should have did that, and then they could have left out some of those overdone slapstick things, like when she, was trying to help her get dressed. I think that was worth like a 2 second ha, not even a ha ha ha, just a ha. That's it, and they could have moved on. And then some of the other little things that they just overdid, I think they could have did away with them and just kept
the teeth whitening scene in the very
Oh,
beginning.
that was long and drawn out.
Did she even whiten her teeth?
No, she never touched her. She got close, and then
I really didn't get that part.
it was unnecessary. It could have been like a hop moment, not a ha ha ha. Just a hop. That's all. And then that would save more time for something more funny, substantially funny. That this movie could have went down as really one of the greats. Now that being said, I also think that I would have liked to see not only the boss be her huge um, kind of love interest from the past coming back to haunt her, but I would have liked to see that goofy chick that was posing her in the Girl Scouts. I would have liked to have her be back as one of her big bosses endings.
Yeah.
Because I think she still liked the crazy shirt guy, Peter Dinklage character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of would have kept him around and made him change over to a new, gentler guy. But I would have made that wicked chick from the Girl Scouts be truly.
You didn't want
the
to
big
see
boss
Peter
fight.
Dinklage have a sick boss fight?
No, I liked everything he did. I think I would have kept it, but I would have left it so that that wasn't truly the ending. He would have wound up being the shining knight at the end because he gave back not only the contract, but he gave a whole bunch more money to the organization, and he'd have tried to redeem all his wrongdoings by doing good or whatever. But I would have still had that chick come back out of the, out of the dark side that she had confrontation with, and come back as some kind of a big bad, you know, upholding the law kind of chick to try to shut everything down. I'd have wiggled her in there some way.
Yeah.
But those were they were nitpicks, everyone.
Well,
But those were my dislikes.
I wouldn't say they were nitpicks because there were like a lot of technical problems with the whole story, and I had them for me as well. Um, let's see where to start. Well, first of all, the Miss Melissa McCarthy character, she is like, I hate to say, like too Looney Tunes to make it into the business world. But from what we understood, she literally backstabbed her way up to corporate line, and then she's so surprised that no one wanted to give her a hand. Of course, because you all the way up. So when you went back down, no one's going to give you the time of day.
Yes.
Well, I believe that, but the fact that she's now becoming rich and famous with using the same techniques, that I don't care for because it doesn't work. I wanted the in spoiler in the one scene where she finds out the new investor to help her out, which is her old mentor. Instead of like, yeah, instead of just giving her the money just because, oh, you were my best student and I had my regrets, to say, you got to prove to me that you're not going to screw me over or anyone else.
Right.
You're taking care of children now. That's not
Right.
okay. You got to prove that you're a human being
And she was
and
actually
learn from your
the
mistakes.
one source of a bailout for her, and I think Backlash was right in saying that truly she should have been around at the very end to see through her investment.
Yes.
She rode off into the sunset and never just that was it.
Real quick, first, you wouldn't see one of the sharks just saying, "Okay, I trust with my money on Shark Tank to do that." Also, maybe she didn't. Bryce Cream, I think they made that his name for it. The joke of it, when she was at Bryce Cream's table with all those other rich people, I mean, it was all not what it seemed to be in the beginning, but she didn't know that. What game that she got up is one thing to be butthurt and mad about it and walk off. It's one thing to even say, hey, you're such an ingrate, you douche, to them. What point does it serve to just malign someone's wife into the ground like that after they had died? That was
Spoiler.
Yeah, and I think it just holds true to the person that she really
Yeah,
was.
that's it. But that is your point.
And that's the problem that she's used these tactics that got her where she was, but end up bringing her downfall. And she now is just repeating the vicious cycle and teaching kids these things are going to be okay. They're not okay, and it's not just because we can't blame her because that's who she is.
Right.
She had a bad childhood. No one wanted her, and just made her even bitter. Yeah. Well, actually,
That's at the beginning.
That's at the beginning of the movie.
Haha,
no spoiler.
Is it a spoiler if they don't show it in the trailer?
It's in the first 5 minutes of the movie, not a spoiler. Ha 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 ha. And instead of addressing that problem, they just say, whatever, you're my new family now.
Well, they kind of did. It's like, family, my only kryptonite. In the middle of the movie, they addressed it a little. And not with
it didn't address that, making her personality. And again, with her self-destructive nature, I wouldn't trust her to watch 2 sets on like $200 billion worth of money.
Now, this again is a spoiler, and this is the logic thing.
And we gotta wrap it up because it's getting super long.
Okay, I'm gonna just do this really quick. The chick was looking for her raise, and she was given something for her raise.
Mm-hmm.
That was worth a lot of money.
Yes.
They never said anything about it. We never saw any evidences of a lot of money being
That
resulted.
it was in a different time frame because they said 8 months later, so we
but
assumed
did
she
she
spent the
get
money.
it and spend all that? That would have been a huge amount of money because they lived in New York. That's just the
Well,
logic
that's
thing.
that's the other thing. Maybe she saved them for her, most of it for her daughter's college fund, knowing that that was like
That's
one lump sum
possibility.
if she sold them. But she was also promised a promotion. You know, she never got really, they never really followed through on that. At least there's no reason to if you watch the movie. But at first, it's like, here's your paycheck. What about my promotion? La 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 la.
Well, not to be that guy, but some people would rather have money than a promotion, and she took the money. So there you go. And one final thing before we move on to the rating is that again, spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. In the movie, Melissa McCarthy's character decided to get on back on topic, creating like a Girl Scout ripoff thing, saying that the money, will not only make girls feel better, but they'll get a percentage pay.
And go to college.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
But I definitely heard they were going to get the money for that. And I say that will not work because here's what: child labor laws, they exist. You can't put a child to work, and that's why her business would be. And that's what I wanted that lawyer to figure out if she was a lawyer, but no, she kept taking whatever Melissa McCarthy threw in her face.
The lawyer doesn't logic much. She caused a lot of carnage that she had to be stopped by Kristen Shaw of Bob's Burgers and Last Man on Earth fame for causing all the nuts that she started.
And that's just sad. I expect more tactical cunning and brutality from lawyer, but whatever.
Yeah.
Take that cookie joke up the rear again. Everyone loves hearing
And
that.
I think they ended up turning her daughter into,
A mixed martial artist.
yeah, spoiler. I didn't want to say it, but it's like, okay.
I know, right? Yes. Let's wrap this up. I'm finding I have a need to say my final.
Final piece.
Yeah, but just my final. What do you call it?
Rating.
Rating.
Yeah, review rating thing.
What's the middle of the road rating?
It's okay or mediocre. We got two.
Which is better?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay. For me, I'll have to give it. That's okay. That boss fight really helped it. It saved it. This movie, if you don't care about boss fights with Peter Dinklage, then I would just rent this sucker when it comes out in Redbox.
Well, usually, like Rich Critch of the Whistle Wrestling Podcast, I'm usually a hard grader. Personally, I'm kind of surprised that this won't be the case. I enjoyed myself on the movie. That had its problems, but it kept me enthralled. It didn't make me laugh as much as I wanted it to, but it was hardly the cringe fest I thought it was going to be. The story was well told. Acting was done well too, so I give it a pass.
You know what? Actually, there was one more nitpick I forgot about,
Real quick.
and that is the fact that this was seemingly limited release. It just only is after movies a couple days.
Yeah, but I talked to the guy. I said this is going to be more releases like tomorrow and then some. You wouldn't tell me why we
You
couldn't.
didn't say how many.
Yeah.
It looked like there was only going to be any showings as of Sunday.
Well, we checked earlier.
Yeah.
But now, since it's later, it's probably going to show them the showings now.
Okay, guys, but if you know you want to see it, I wouldn't waste a lot of time. As soon as it hits your neighborhood theaters, go see it. Check it out.
And again, no big loss if you miss it.
You can see it on HBO
or whatever.
I think you'll personally enjoy it.
And this is the one true Omni Gamer Boss Franz.
And the information on for True Backlash.
And the first lady of Media Blue.
Telling you to watch this movie, whatever, but subscribe now. We demand it.
Subscribe.
Like us. It's free and it will save you money. Use it when you need it.
Do it now.
Boss battle.